What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to Locked In with the Wilsons. So today we're going to go about this a little different. Today is an installation video. I am showing you how to install the heavy-duty Sumo springs on a Ram 2500. Now this application may be the same for most vehicles, but it's specifically for the Ram 2500. I am not an authorized mechanic, so please take this with a grain of salt as far as the information you're receiving. But the reason that I am putting this video together is because I noticed a small squat on my truck and some sway as we were driving the fifth wheel. So let's get to it. So now I'll show you what comes in the packet from Sumo. You have the heavy duty Sumo spring yellow number 54. You have the Sumo frame bracket, the spacer, and the Sumo bracket itself, along with a 3/8 16 by 1 inch bolt and Loctite. In addition to that, I chose to use a 7/8 inch impact socket and a 5/8 inch 1 inch socket, and I'll explain that later. There's also a 7/32 Allen key, and I had some leftover Loctite that I'm using up, plus you'll need an impact wrench, and again I'll explain that later, along with a jack and jack stand. I mentioned that jack stand and the impact wrench. The reason I chose to use those is because you can't get to the original bracket on the truck for the bump stop without removing the tire, in my case because of the size of my impact wrench. So I mentioned needing that impact wrench, and that was only to remove the tire, because what you have to do is remove the original bump stop, and you see the clearance between the bump stop and the actual frame. In this case, you'll only want to loosen the original bolts from the bump stop to give yourself clearance to get your impact wrench out. One side, and here goes the other side. So it's as simple as unscrewing it from this point forward. And remember, keep these bolts because you'll use them at another stage. Now that our bump stop is off, you'll take those same bolts, apply Loctite to those bolts, and thread them back into the original holes. Now you want to tighten up your bolts. Now there are no specs on this on exactly how to tighten it. It just says securely tighten. Now that you've got the bracket up, you will take your spacer and your Sumo bracket, and notice that the Sumo bracket has a hole in it, a concaved hole, and that's for this bolt. So this hole goes on the bottom. Your Sumo spacer goes up in the middle. This bracket holds the bolt, and the way this is applied, you want to screw this in here. So with that being said, take more Loctite, put it on your nut, because this is where your 7/32 Allen key comes in. And like I said, just tight enough to get it held in place, because you want to make sure that the Sumo spring is seated over the original connecting part for your Sumo spring. Begin tightening it up, and make sure that the rounded end with the screw sticking out is over the bracket or over the connecting part. So I didn't tighten it all the way because I want to make sure that it seats properly. And here you can see that it's seated directly over the connecting part of the truck. You want to make sure that Loctite is applied to any connecting part of your truck. And I will go back and just double check that I tighten this up. And it's a good thing I did because it was not tightened. Directions don't give a torque, it just says securely tighten. So install your Sumo spring and securely tighten. You see the Sumo spring is seated directly over the connecting portion of the frame for the bump stop. So this is essentially it. So now you want to reinstall your lugs on your tire. And remember to go in for your initial installment of your lugs at a star pattern to ensure the proper seating. Go back and tighten them. Be sure to remove your jack stands and lower your truck. And now you see the Sumo springs are seated almost perfectly on the mounting bracket for the bump stop. So there you have it from a hot, muggy summer day. I didn't bring this video to show you the difference between the squat with the truck by itself and the squat with the trailer attached to it, because there are plenty of videos out on YouTube about that. This was just to show you how simple and easy it is to install this on a Ram 2500 and hopefully your truck. So thank you again for watching. If you like what you've seen and want more videos, subscribe to the channel, like the video, give us a comment, and make sure you share it out with your friends and family. Until then, thanks, and Locked In with the Wilsons out.